Have you ever felt your entire life fall apart through the same camera you set up yourself? For me, everything started to unravel quietly. There was no shouting, no dramatic scene, just the soft glow of my wife, Sarah's phone, lighting up her face at 2 in the morning. She was smiling, but not the way she used to smile at me. This one was different, private, warm, meant for someone else. In that dim light, I realized something inside our life together was already burning down. I didn't know who the other man was yet, but I knew, deep down, with a chilling certainty, that the life I believed in was already gone. What remained was a single question. How would I deal with the truth buried beneath her lies? For 10 years, Sarah had been my world. We built everything together on the north side, step by step. I worked as a project manager, while she climbed quickly in corporate law. To everyone else, we were the perfect couple, the kind people admired. But behind that image, something had begun to decay. It started subtly. Late nights at work became routine. Client dinners stretched longer and longer. Whenever I called, her tone felt sharp, impatient, like my concern annoyed her. She would brush it off, saying she was finalizing an important deal. But the warmth in her voice had disappeared, replaced with something distant and mechanical. Then came the small clues. Receipts tucked in her coat, meals for 2 at restaurants I had never been to, on nights she claimed to be working alone. When I questioned her, she laughed it off, casually mentioning a colleague named Mark. According to her, he was just someone from her legal team. The way she said his name made it sound harmless, almost convincing. Mark was the confident, polished associate she had mentioned before. Ambitious, charming, the kind of man people noticed. Slowly, Sarah began to feel like a stranger in our own home. She was still there physically, but emotionally distant, cold, unreachable. What hurt most wasn't just the betrayal, it was how easily they dismissed it. Every suspicion I raised was turned into a flaw of mine, labeled as insecurity. They didn't even try to hide. They simply reframed the truth until I doubted myself. Everything finally broke on our anniversary. I had reserved a table at the restaurant where I once proposed to her. An hour before we were supposed to meet, she canceled with a brief, emotionless message, apologizing and blaming work. That night, something didn't feel right. I drove past her office building, hoping to see her car. It wasn't there. Acting on instinct, I headed toward a luxury hotel downtown. And there it was. Her white Lexus parked beside a black BMW I recognized instantly. Mark's car. I sat there in silence as rain began to fall, blurring the city lights into something unreal. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I just felt empty. In that moment, the man who loved his wife faded away. What replaced him was colder, more deliberate, someone patient, someone calculating. After that night, I stopped reacting and started planning. I ordered discreet cameras, the kind small, enough to remain unnoticed. While she was away on a work trip, I installed them throughout the house, one in the living room, hidden in a smoke detector, another in the bedroom, tucked among books on a shelf. The most important one went into the home office she had begun, using for her late-night calls. From then on, I watched everything. I saw her laugh softly into her phone, twisting her hair as she spoke. I heard her talk about me, calling me predictable, saying I had no idea what was happening. Mark's voice was just as dismissive, filled with arrogance. They believed I was beneath them. They were wrong. While they enjoyed their stolen moments, I was collecting proof. Every call, every message, every meeting inside my own home, I documented it all. I secured copies of emails, hired a private investigator to follow their outings, and consulted a highly aggressive divorce attorney known for leaving nothing behind. Step by step, I secured everything, legally and financially. My assets were protected, Evidence was organized. I even prepared a detailed report for her firm and the state bar, outlining her misuse of professional resources. Then came the final stage. Sarah's biggest event of the year was the charity gala she organized. A night where she showcased her success and our so-called perfect life. It was the ideal setting. That evening, she looked flawless as she stood before a large screen, addressing a room full of influential guests. Her voice was confident, her smile polished. From the audience, she glanced at me, the same rehearsed expression she always used in public. I returned a calm, empty smile and signaled the technician I had arranged everything with. As she continued speaking, the screen behind her flickered, then it changed. Instead of the planned presentation, footage from our living room appeared, her and Mark together in a moment. That made everything undeniable. The room went silent. Her own voice echoed through the speakers, making it impossible to deny. The entire hall froze. People stared at the screen, then at her, then at me, her expression drained of color. The display continued. More clips, more images, more undeniable proof. Every lie, every hidden moment, exposed in front of everyone she had tried to impress. It was precise, controlled, final. Mark disappeared into the crowd without a word. She stood there alone as everything she had built collapsed around her. By the next day, she had lost her job. A formal investigation began. Friends who once admired us distanced themselves completely. The divorce was swift. The agreement we had signed years ago protected me fully, and the evidence left no room for argument. She walked away with nothing. The last time I saw her, she was loading her belongings into a rented truck. The confidence she once carried was gone, replaced by something empty and defeated. She didn't meet my eyes. I didn't speak. I simply stood by the window and watched as she drove away, fading into the distance until she was nothing more than a pair of disappearing lights. Now the house is quiet. Sometimes I revisit the recordings. Not out of pain, but as a reminder. Because betrayal doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it begins with something as small as a quiet smile in the dark.